And amongst all those men, the lone woman standing so gracefully, elegantly, playing the flute and not getting jittery or disturbed by any kind of audience applause or reaction, but just lost in your own art and savoring that moment, enjoying that music, which for me is something that I've always admired about you, Ashwini. You seem so, like in Sanskrit, there's the word, no, sthita prajna. You seem so steady, immaterial of what's happening around you, and you're just playing the notes that you have in front of you. It's amazing to see a woman stand amongst all of them, and every time you stand out, literally and figuratively, literally for the way you're dressed, always in Indian outfits, invariably a sari, and figuratively for being the only woman who's bringing out the melody in whatever song the singers are singing on stage. So as a woman, when you see your journey to reach a point where you're so comfortable with who you are, I'm sure that journey must have in itself been something of a huge learning for you, right?
It is because, especially in Indian setup, we are many things are taken for granted. That you need to cook, you are the representative of your uh, family, whatever the culture, your tradition, and everything. So by default, it is that you go a little deviate yourself, then you're like, oh, our family, what is this? Everything will kind of it doesn't sync well. And also that all people around you, the consent of the people, the family is very important. And you can't think beyond that. If they are not comfortable, then you know, even if you want to do, you think twice. Because when I started playing for film music and all of that, I used to come in this DD Chandana every weekend. So my father called Kaushik and said, she's gone mad anyway. I know my daughter. Oh, what has happened to you? What made you let her start playing that? So I was like, really, I didn't know how to react to that. Because for a parent to get parents' consent, then the in-laws, then your husband, and so many things are there to think. But then somewhere we are taking too much upon us, saying that these things really matter. But after some time, it really doesn't matter. That's what I feel now. They all will fall in place once they know that what we are doing is what we will do, and they'll really come to whatever they accept the way we are, and they'll eventually start understanding what kind of person we are, and what we are trying to do, and all of that. But that really takes some time
Yeah.
to go through the whole process. Is something that really is
And what were
difficult.
you telling yourself at that time when people around you were not understanding and people who mattered to you, your family, when they did not understand it? What were you telling yourself to keep yourself going? Because I think at that time we become our best friends. We very easily are our biggest critics, but to become
That
a best friend is a journey again. So, what were you telling yourself to make sure that you are strong?
See, there were two extreme setups. One is the place where I used to go and perform. The people used to come talk so high about me. They used to praise me so much. There used to be people who come and say, if I had a daughter, she would be like you. So that's when I started replacing all my parents, in-laws, everyone else, my brothers, sister, everyone else with them. Okay, if my father is not there, someone else is coming and telling me, no. So God is sending someone there to replace the whole setup. It's just not that whoever it is, you are praised for what you're doing. In fact, it's not even a praise. It's an acknowledgement that you're getting, that you're on the right track. What you're doing is, it's not all that very kind of, it's not bad, or it's not something that you should not be doing. It's good because people, they are also people, they are also old enough, and they also know what's happening around. And when they say that you're doing something good, and over to whatever is happening in the personal form, that's where I could easily evaluate, saying they are taking some time to kind of identify. Because when personally I myself took so much of time to accept whatever I am and what I am. So for them, it is much more difficult because they are much more old and they don't know the scenario. They don't know how the career path is, or they don't know what is in for me. So it's only going to be a temporary phase. So
Yeah, true. Because, when you take the road less taken or not taken, there is nobody before you to show you the way. And therefore,
yeah,
you're making your way as you're going on that road because you don't know what's ahead. And,
correct.
and that's what you have done for yourself. And in this journey, okay, so from Carnatic, you moved into film music and playing with different groups of musicians. And when you started getting into those performances, what was Ashwini telling herself as she was moving there? Because you didn't have a mentor as a woman around you, it was mainly the men around you. And naturally, if you're the lone person there, you're far more cautious. Uh,
Correct. Yeah.
how did you tread that path to reach that point of confidence that I can handle myself?
Uh, I till date, all the shows that I have done, it has never been a musician's choice. I have always been a event organizers or the audience choice that I am there. So it's been a lot more difficult because they never felt for musicians, it's clearly a man's world. They
Mm.
will definitely want to have another man there sitting with them because he is the one who will run the family. He is a friend to him and he knows the situation. And they have so many things which is very valid. I really don't want to dispute any of those things. So we always don't come as the first choice. But when there is an event organizer or when there are audience, when there are uh, these organizations which feel that if I am there, that those tickets will sell, or so they invariably have to have me in the place. They can't really say no. So that's where I fit into all kinds of groups and performances and places. So they really will not take me into that niche circle of theirs unless they know that I am really performing well and I live up to their expectation as well. And that will be really very high. It's going to be, if a man doesn't perform one day, if a person, they'll have 100 things that they can accept. Arey, his wife was not well today, he had to go somewhere, he drank yesterday, his mood was not well, but we can't give those excuses at all. In spite of all the things that we deal in the personal front, there we have to perform and show. And each time it's going to be a new, it's like a first performance only, or else it can be really very easily brushed off like saying, Are, we know these women know they can't be very stable each time they have their own. So if we shouldn't allow them to talk like that, then we always have to be on our toes and always be that. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
because the pressure to perform is
Yes.
really huge.